everyone, and welcome to the channel. It is me, Mrs. Thinking of a Master Plan, and I thought it would be great if I can come and talk to you candidly. So there will be no planner related stuff going on in this video. Well, there's always planners in the back, of course. Before I get started, if you enjoy the video, make sure you give me that thumbs up and comment below in response to this video, thoughts, questions, concerns. And then last but not least, if you have not had the opportunity to join the channel, I would love to have you as a subscriber. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. And guys, I just don't have a boom, boom, bam in me today, so I can't give it to you. I won't fake the funk. So as you can see, I'm looking kind of, I didn't even have the strength to put my earrings on. Okay. I feel like crap. But I thought I would come on just to say that I don't have to be perfect on this channel. I like to share with you guys the real. So this is the real. This lupus is kicking my butt right now. I feel like crap. My legs hurt. My legs are swollen. I'm exhausted. So just let me give you a little recap of my week last week. So last week, well, the week before, so the 14th through the 16th, I traveled to Vegas for a client meeting. I came back on the 16th, and on the 19th we had Plannerverse. So I actually took that Friday off, or what I thought I was going to do is take the day off, but I ended up not even being able to do that because I got called into work. But it's okay. Plannerverse, it was raining. There was a lot to do. It was very busy. It was a very successful event, and I haven't had the opportunity to tell you guys about it. So I can tell you that my fatigue started that week. So we had Plannerverse on the 19th. On the 20th, I go to fly out to Indianapolis. My company is opening a location there, and I went to assist them with that. It was tiring, to say the least. Long story short, they overbooked my flight on Sunday, and they needed volunteers to get off the flight, and I waited, and the flight was delayed and all that good stuff. And so I ended up really staying at the airport for several hours to get everything straight between checking in, coming through TSA, and all that good stuff. Fast forward, I fly out Monday morning, so I'm already late. I was supposed to be at the venue at 8. The airport, from the airport in Indianapolis to our venue was about 30-40 minutes. So I got into Indianapolis around 11:30, but I did not get to the venue till after 1 o'clock. That was with getting my bag, catching the Uber, those various things. Might have been right at 1. It was raining, so it was like, not a good day, not a good turnout. But I was already tired from travel the week before, the whole Plannerverse event. Mr. Master Plan was traveling for work, so he wasn't here. So any of you that have a spouse or someone that you sleep with and they're missing, your sleep pattern's off. So my sleep pattern was off when I came from home because he wasn't here. So I didn't sleep good on Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night after Plannerverse. I was so tired that I just fell asleep where I was. Sunday, it was a restless night because always the night before a flight, I always think I'm going to miss my flight or oversleep. So I wake up all night. So that was kind of that situation. So, you know, I had recorded several videos. I was prepared for this trip. I took my Mac with me so that I could upload and edit videos and get them out. Well, it didn't work out that way. I haven't had a video since I think Sunday the 20th was the last video that I posted. I had videos scheduled, recorded for the whole week, but I couldn't get around to updating them. The long days at work, being on my feet, doing a lot of walking, swelling from flying, it just took a toll on me physically, and I just had to just accept what I can do and, you know, and just reminding myself that there are limitations. I do have limitations, even though I want to say that I am superwoman. Sometimes my body does not allow me to be superwoman. I'm superwoman in my mind, but my body says, no, you're not. And lay down somewhere, old lady. And that's exactly what happened. It was an extremely late night on Monday night. We went out to dinner after the event. And the event, we did not leave the venue until after 6. By the time I got checked in, and we rode out to the place that we met for dinner. It was great. Harry and Izzy's. It was the food was great. The company was great. And we got home late. So I got as much sleep as I could. I wasn't feeling great when I woke up Tuesday morning. We had to be at the venue before 8:30. We were only about 6 minutes from the venue, so that was a positive part. But anyway, just late night, early morning, and the struggles with that. And so Tuesday progressed fine. It was another long day. But Wednesday and Thursday, we did not have to report. There was a conference room. If we wanted to go to the conference room and work with the group, we could have. Could have taken the day off. We could have, worked from our room. So I chose to work in a mobile capacity where I was logged in, available for questions. I took conference calls, but we kind of did some running around, some shopping, trying to see the city and things. Discovered a great brunch place. I don't know if there's one in your city. It's called Another Broken Egg. Oh, my. That food was good, but what was better was those mimosas. I had a lemon blueberry mimosa. It was delish. One of my coworkers had a black cherry mimosa, and the other one had a tropical sangria. Those drinks were so good, but I digress. So we ran around a bunch on Tuesday. And so I said, well, why don't we grab food from the hotel next door? We can go in there, have a drink, order our food to go, and go back to the room because I'm tired. So we actually did that. Let's see, Wednesday. That was Wednesday. Thursday, I stayed in. They went out, they ran. I just answered my calls, emails, and I worked from the bed in the hotel room because I was just physically exhausted. I could not do it, but I did have to get up and go to dinner with the group that night. One of our VPs was there, senior VPs was there on site, and I had to report for duty, sir. So that's what I did. Another long night. It wasn't as long because everyone was starting to wear down and get tired at this time, so it just wasn't me. But it was raining, it was cold, my joints were achy. I was just, if I was a baby, I probably would have just been fussy the whole time, like colic fussy, So that takes us to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It was a rock and roll time. So 9 o'clock to 6 p.m. Both nights, running around, doing my daily job or what I was sent there to help out to do. I of course did that and just felt bad. Fell asleep early on Friday night. I didn't tell you guys. Friday night my daughter came up from Ohio, and so we hung out, but we didn't hang out late. We brought food in and we ate and we laid it down. She loves to sleep in her spare time, so because she loves to sleep, it was right up my alley. Saturday morning, got up, went to the job fair again, met up with my daughter and her friend who spent the whole day. They went out once to the mall, but they spent the whole day napping. I was so jealous. But anyway, in addition to being jealous of them getting to nap, I was tired. So we kind of brought our food in and I crashed. I was in bed before 10 because one of my coworkers, she texted and called and I did not hear it. Got up early Sunday morning, packed, ready to go to the airport where, we flew out. My flight was delayed a little bit, but it was okay. The thing that was not cool is they made up for lost time in the air. And so we kind of landed on time. So we ended up having to sit on the tarmac for about 30 minutes. Like, that gives me cabin fever. And because I was tired and not feeling well and cabin fever, oh my goodness, it was the worst. So, also, I forgot to mention, let me rewind. Last Wednesday, I lost my grandmother. I got a notification from and you hear me call him my BF, my biological father, that my grandmother had passed. And I was sad because, I didn't know she was sick. I knew she was old, but I didn't know she was sick. And I hadn't visited her in a while. So those feelings of guilt and, time that I can't get back, I was saddened by that, but I was also saddened by the events. Now I'm getting ready to go deep and very personal. So I was raised by my mother and my dad, who is my stepdad, but I call him dad because that's the only dad that I know. He was there from the very beginning. My first memories, he was there. Him and my mother have been married for 45 years. So that's my daddy, and I am a daddy's girl. I will put that out there. So my biological father, I met him for the first time when I was 25 years old. And so I've known him roughly about 21 years. And the thing is my dad, who is you would call him as my stepdad. I don't consider him that. He never said anything negative about him. And he said that when I turned 18, if I was curious to find out who he was, I could go seek him out. I didn't when I turned 18. But when I turned 25, I did seek him out. I did want to know who he was and why I wasn't involved. He wasn't involved in my life. Now, my grandmother, I knew my grandmother. My dad was in the military. And so we moved and traveled around a lot. And so when we came home, my mother would drop me down and I would spend time with my grandmother, but it would just be me and her. Sweetest little lady. I look a lot like her. My daughter looks a lot like her. So I have very fond and happy, positive memories of her. The last time I spent time with her, she was not sick. She was in great health. She's very silly. She used to like to laugh, so she would just be laughing and giggling. And that's how I choose to remember my grandmother. So I definitely was saddened, and it just hit me in a different way because I do have a sister. She is adopted. My dad and my BF and his wife adopted her. And we've been friends on Facebook for years, and clearly she knows who I am. But that's pretty much the interactions. Probably back in the 90s, I met my grandmother's sister-in-law, my Aunt Maggie, and she's a sweetheart. I met my aunt, one of my aunts, my dad's sister. I met another aunt just in the store with my mom and the girls. And so and another aunt that I look a lot like. And so I knew bits and pieces of the family members, but I don't know them. I know, of course, my mom and my dad's side of the family, and that's my family, and they'll always be my family. I love them. I don't see myself as step. They don't treat me like step. So there you have that. But I think that my biological father, during the time that, I was conceived and everything, there were certain things that were taboo, things that you didn't discuss. And I was one of those things that they did not discuss. I was this secret, walking, living, breathing secret that he could not deny. We look a lot alike. My grandmother had a nystagmus, which I do. I don't know if you've ever noticed in the video. Sometimes I'm looking towards the side, or my eyes, they move like this. I have a nystagmus. I think sometimes that's why I'm a little hesitant to get on camera as well. Because it looks like I'm saying no sometimes, but I'm not. But I inherited, that was hereditary from my grandmother. So there's just some things that are undeniable. So my mother told me that my grandmother always wanted him to live his truth. And he never chose to live that truth. And I think one of her wishes, or she vocalized it before, because she died of complications of dementia, advanced dementia. She was 92 years old. And in their conversations, she might have said that this is what he needed to do. because he was very adamant about getting in contact with me, and he wanted my presence there. And this is hard for me. So I have mixed emotions. So, I have the sadness going on with my grandmother. I'm not feeling well. And then I'm overwhelmed by these new feelings. Like, I've never really thought about, did he love me? Okay, so I had to shoot this in 2 days. But as I was saying, this is day 2 of me trying to record this. And as you can see, your girl is still looking a little rough, but I do feel better. I did get some rest and everything. So, I was very overwhelmed at the request. I have a half sister, and as I mentioned before, she's adopted, and she was the one that kind of reached out to me. So the funeral was 2 days ago. Today is Wednesday, the 31st, and the funeral was on Monday, the 28th. I think that for my BF, he lived his truth. I was his truth. So, of course, before we met to get into family cars and things like that, I didn't ride in a family car. I don't care about that. So when we met at the house, he and I went together, and he entered the home, which was my grandmother's home. And he said, "Hey, everyone, how y'all doing? This is my daughter, Miranda." And literally, you could hear a pin drop. I was like, awkward, but he lived his truth. So I had to give him respect. The overwhelming of emotions comes from, me being this big secret, people knowing, people kind of saying things, but not, his name is Marvin, my name is Miranda, that whole kind of situation and setup. But to really, for now, it to be out, and he is taking on whatever consequences, questions. Of course, people had questions. So he's introducing me to all this family, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm overflowing with emotion. It's just like, I'm sad, but this is sadder because I don't know these people, and I'm in my 40s, and so someone asked him, "Did you just find out about this?" He was like, "No, I didn't. I've known about her all her life, since before she was born, but it was a secret from y'all. It wasn't a secret from me. I knew about her." And so, after the initial shock, everyone kind of just welcomed me in. They hugged me. I met my great uncle, my grandmother's brother. I had already met her sister-in-law, my Aunt Maggie. So, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how I should feel in this moment. So I think that's why I'm coming here to talk to you guys about it, because it's like, what should I feel like? I've had a wonderful childhood. My parents are still together. So, I didn't come from a broken home. I've been all around the world with my dad's job. He was in the Air Force. So not really missing out on the fact, except that they don't know me and my children don't know them. And I don't know who I'm related to on that side of the family and those types of things. Those emotions were coming out. Like all this wasted time. Who knows? I might have been a good friend with, one of my first cousins on that side, as I am on, across all sides of the family that's involved. And just to know, as my mother is starting to open up and tell me a little things, like both of my grandfathers, so my mother's father and my BF's father, they were BFFs. They were best friends. So this is like a family long secret. So it's just like, I don't know, I'm overwhelmed. But I'm glad that I've connected with my sister. I have 4 nieces and nephews, 2 nieces and 2 nephews that I didn't know that I had. So, well, I knew that I had them, but I never knew that I would have a relationship with them. So eager to start those relationships. In terms of the relationship with my BF, I'm going to make more of an effort to reach out to him. I never want it to be so that I'm coming around these people, or let me not call them these people, coming around my family only when there's death involved. And so I'm going to step outside of my box and my comfort zone, because I'm very, very protective of, guarded of my feelings. I don't want my feelings to be hurt, you know. And it used to be big for me back in the day when me and my BF had conversations that, you know, he never wanted to acknowledge me. And he said that's totally not the case. He was like, you know, I used to come visit him. He's a barber. He's been a barber for years after he got out of the military. So I used to come when I come into town. I go to the barber shop, holler at him. Like, I know all the guys at the barber shop, but I don't know my uncles. You know, so it's like, to a sense and a degree, to his comfort zone, he's acknowledged me. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's never done anything for me or my children, because that just wouldn't be true, because he has. If I asked him for something and he had it, he would give it to me. You know, he is that type of man. I do feel like he does have love for me, and maybe he loves me. I don't know. You know, I have feelings for him. I don't know if it's love, because I don't know him. So it's just like a lot of conflicting emotions, you know, and the trying to really focus on getting this relationship going and bonding with my half sister is of utmost importance to me, and knowing those children are important to me, and even to an extent giving my stepmother a chance, because the way that she treated me this time is a total 360 from our last interaction. We've never had an unpleasant interaction. But in the beginning of the video, I told you about the last time that I spent with my grandmother was actually at my BF's house, and my grandmother lived with him at this point in time. And my stepmom, we were all in the living room. She greeted me when I came in, she greeted the kids, and she went in the back room of the house. And we were there talking and having conversations or whatever. And she did not engage. So to see her saying, please call us, let us know how you're doing, these various things, you know, please call your dad, things like that. I don't know what that change has come. Did death bring this? Was this my grandmother's wish and he wanted to honor my grandmother in that moment? Is this sustainable? And should I be open? Like, that's my whole thing right now. Should I be open? I don't know if I should be open. And why should I be open if I should? And if I shouldn't be open, why not? I don't know in this moment. But I wanted to come and share this with you guys because, you know, I have been MIA. That video that I put up on yesterday was shot about over like 2 weeks ago, probably. Or a week ago or so. I shot it and uploaded that. So I really haven't had any videos this week. I'm starting to put some together. Today is my last day of bereavement. And so tomorrow is back to work and business as usual. But I wanted to come here and talk through this with you guys. I don't think I've been this open, but I think I'm going to start being this open because it feels good. I feel better. You know, and I'm physically feeling better. So that may have a lot to do with it as well. You know, when you're sick, you're in your feelings, and I've been in my feelings since last Wednesday, and even more emotional overload on Monday. So yeah, so that's a little bit about where I've been, what I've been going through. You know, beautiful services for my grandmother, you know, and she was just a great lady. And, you know, if anything, I want to be her legacy and the great person she was. And I know that my grandmother loved me, and I know that she always wanted me to be accepted and not to be an outsider to this family at all. So that is my truth today. This week, I may have some more truth again. We never know. But that's the truth today. I do have on earrings. I feel like I got the color back in my face. This hair is now twisted up. I know you guys know I'm natural, and for those of you who are not African American, natural means I don't have any chemicals in my hair. This is my hair in its natural state, so therefore natural, no chemicals to relax or anything. So the struggle sometimes is real. But anyway, thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to me, because this video is long. And guess what? Your girl is not doing a lot of editing. I like to edit my videos. And, you know, but my theme going into 2020 is I am not perfect. So that means that my videos do not have to be perfect. If I stutter, I think a lot of the things that I edit out of my video are my brain fog. I get it when I'm talking for long periods of time. If I'm freehand talking, like if I'm reading something or presenting a PowerPoint with bullet points and I know what my points are going to be, then it's different. But I don't want to. I do that for work all the time. I don't want to have to do that on my videos. So I just keep it going, even though, you know, I might have said a word wrong, or sometimes I get tenses and plurals wrong. It's really, really weird, but there's nothing they can do about it. It's a side effect of the disease. And, you know, I move forward every day. I am a fighter. I have lupus. Lupus does not have me. And I listened to my body and got some rest. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I hope you guys appreciate me sharing my truth, which I will share more and more. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day. Hey, don't forget the 3 things: like, comment, and subscribe. Ciao, bella.